Today is September the 7th, and this is part 15 of our journey with Jesus. Well, Jesus has been down to Jerusalem for Passover. And while he was there, he cleansed the temple. He had a meeting with Nicodemus. And now he's ready to go back up to Galilee. There's two ways to go from Jerusalem to Galilee. One was the easier way, although it was a little bit longer, was to go over by Jericho and go up the Jordan Valley and then into Galilee. Or there was another way, that was to go straight up. It was shorter, but it was harder, it was mountainous. And going the short way up, straight up, you had to go through Samaria. Now remember, the Samaritans were half-breed Jews. In 732 BC, remember that the Assyrians came in and conquered Israel and carried the people off, left some people there, but carried most of them off, and transported some non-Jews back into the land. Well, these two, the Jews and the non-Jews, intermarried and formed a half-Jew, half-Gentile race called the Samaritans. These were not accepted by the Jews. They were hated by the Jews. There was a great deal of racial tension between these two. The Jews would have no dealings with Samaritans because they thought they were very inferior to them. But it says Jesus needed to go through Samaria. There was a reason he wanted to go through Samaria. Now, I checked this morning, and it was uncertain exactly how far it is from Jerusalem to Galilee, but it was certainly more than one day's journey. So this probably was around noon on the second day of their journey. And it said Jesus got tired. He was weary, and he sat down on Jacob's well. Now, this is a well that Jacob dug many, many years before. Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. By the way, that well is still there today. There's still water in it. So he's sitting there on the well. He's tired, which shows us the humanity of Jesus. He was God living in a human body. God doesn't get tired, but Jesus' body certainly did, and he was tired and sat down and rested. And while he was resting, his disciples went into the city, Sychar, to buy some food. So while he was there, a woman comes with her water pot to draw water. Now, it's noon, and it's not the customary time for women to come draw water. They usually came early in the morning and got enough water for the day, and it was a gathering place for the women, and they would come and would exchange stories and talk to each other. But here it is, the middle of the day. She didn't come early in the morning. She came in the middle of the day. There's a reason for that. We'll see later. And she came with her water pot, and Jesus just said to her simply, give me something to drink. And she was shocked. First of all, because he was a Jew, she was a Samaritan, and he would even speak to her. Second place, she was a woman, and certainly would not speak to a woman who was a Samaritan. But he said, give me something to drink. So Jesus said, if you'd asked me, I'd have given you some living water. And she replied and said, you don't have anything to draw with. Where are you going to get this water? And Jesus said, this water that I'll give you will be water that springs up into a fountain, into everlasting life, and you never thirst again. And she said, give me this water because I won't have to come here and draw water again. I won't ever get thirsty. Of course, Jesus was talking about spiritual water, not regular water. Then they began to discuss things. And Jesus finally cut right through everything and said, go call your husband so I can talk to him. And she said, I don't have a husband. And Jesus said, you said that right. You have had 5 husbands, and the man you're living with now is not your husband. Now notice what he said. He said, he didn't say you have 5 husbands. He said you have had 5 husbands, and you're living with somebody you're not married to. Well, that shocked her, and she said, I think you're a prophet. Well, he said, more than a prophet. And she said, someday Messiah's going to come and tell us everything we've ever done. And Jesus said, I'm the Messiah. I'm the one. Well, we're going to stop right there and pick up some more about this in the morning. So until then, I hope you have a fantastic day today.